guys, do stuff with Nikki here. I got some cool stuff to show you today. It's fruit. Neat stuff. Yeah, some of you won't be able to grow it, but I still wanted to show it to you. And we'll start off with one of my favorites. Unlike other aspects of our life, girls, when these go soft, they're actually ready to go. It's one thing in your life you want soft. All right, stop, behave. Anyway, we're gonna start with this soursop. I wanted to do this actually a day or so earlier because it's already getting super soft now, and it was super green only about 2-3 days ago, and it ripened really quick. So anyway, soursop, guanabana, many different names. This is just a gorgeous tree, highly medicinal. You can use the leaves too. And the fruit, this is actually a small one. Some of them can get, really big. And great for, this has major anti-cancer properties, this tree and its fruit. So anyway, when you pick the fruit, if it's really hard, like you see here, it looks like, oh, it's going rotten and all that. It's not. So the way these fruits work is if you can press your finger in, and you see it, it's making a hole. Smells really good too. It almost has like kind of a pineapple-y smell to it. I don't know. Jake, stop chasing the cat. Anyway, so when you put your finger in, this is actually the way you want it. You don't want it all green and hard and all that stuff if you want to eat it like a good fruit. So what I'm going to do is, since a lot of you I know can't grow it and probably have never eaten one of these or seen them maybe, I'm going to cut it open for you. I just kind of cut them down in half. You're going to see the little seeds inside in a minute. Yeah, see, it's getting brown in there. I left it a day or two too long. But it's all right. It's still good. It's kind of mushy looking, right? I'll just pick out the stem in the middle here. You see the little fruit pods in there. Let's pull this apart. It's really soft. And then you see that? These are the seeds here. Hope you can see that good. It's another one of those things where if you guys do have this and you want to, experiment with your seeds, plant them fresh. Like a few of the other ones I'm going to show you. And then the flesh is it's almost creamy to the point when it gets like this. It's really cool. And it's yummy. It has like almost when it gets this ripe, it's like a mixture of a banana and a pineapple almost. So anyway, but you see how smushy this gets. So anyway, if you do get these and they get really nasty brown on the outside like that and all, don't be discouraged. Once they get like this, you need to open it and eat it and all that, but don't get discouraged, because when they get really soft like that, where you're pressing your finger in there like that, that's when you open it up and go to town. And by the way, actually, when you get them super ripe like this, they're really creamy. Yeah, I've taken these out and I've actually made ice cream out of them. It's really kind of good. I put a few drops of vanilla and I put it in the freezer. I stir it every, I'd say about 45 minutes or so, because it gets kind of frosty and slushy, and then you just keep stirring it and moving it until you get into ice cream mode there. And it's actually kind of good. It's awesome. It's like a soursop sorbet. But anyway, this is one of nature's beautiful medicinal gifts to us. And so, if you didn't see, the seeds are kind of small. And my hands are kind of a mess here. Almost look like a little smaller form of a lychee seed. Speaking of which, All right, let's wipe off the fingers. Now you saw that. Yeah, it's really kind of messy, but it's delicious. You'll love it. And the funny thing is, you can get a hard green one like this, and within days of it sitting on your counter, it'll be super ripe like that. So that's going off to the side because that's my treat for after I'm done. So next one I got for you guys. I should have grabbed another plate. Hang on, I'm gonna grab another plate. I didn't plan too good. I'm in the kitchen today because we're about to get a storm, so I'm just trying to do this quick. Because literally, most of this fruit can't wait another day. I have to, and I have one non-fruit to show you. Hot climate stuff. So anyway, I love these guys. They look like aliens. That's rambutan. It's an incredible fruit. It's hairy. And the cool thing about this is, just a few days ago, you could see most of the red in here, and most of the tips of the little hairs on here, they were green. So they ripened up that quick on my counter too. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous fruit. Really good for you too. You can get you have to crack it open, but only about 5 or 6 of these will give you about 50 to 60% of the vitamin C that you need daily. They're pretty potent little guys. This is a quite common fruit in Indonesia, Asia, Malaysia, where our friend comes from. Pacific regions. It's great. I'm trying to bust one open for you here. When I open it, you'll see, if you guys are familiar with lychee, it kind of reminds you of lychee. I had that in one of my videos. Except he's hairy. He forgot to shave. Lychee has bumps on it. No hair. So anyway, split it open. Like that. And you'll see almost a cool gelatinous looking egg shape inside, just like a lychee. Cool, right? And these are absolutely fabulous. They're so delicious. They really are. Super good for you. They're amazing. And this is another one. And it's a very mild tasting fruit. Crunchy and all that. I'm going to pop it open like I did with the lychee that day for you. And you'll see in here. There's this little seed. And rambutan's another one. If you want to attempt growing it, it's a tropical fruit. Literally, I mean, the only people in America that actually can grow it is Florida, California. I know there's a few other people that have grown it, in other areas, but they have special setups. But in general, in nature, these things, Florida and California are basically two of the only places that it will grow in the continental United States. So anyway, again, it's like lychee. And the seeds, when you harvest them, you can't save them. Within at least a few days, you need to pop it in the dirt. And the other thing about this too is, in the beginning, it's kind of a slow growing tree. So this tree can actually take, I don't know, in some cases 4 to 5 years to give you fruit. I've seen it a little faster, but that's like super ideal conditions, which nobody ever has, right? But anyway, that's the hairy rambutan. It's incredibly good for you too. It's an amazing fruit. So, and the seed is about the same size as a lychee. I actually have a couple soaking over here. Oh, I've got 2 lychee seeds in here. I've got them in water because I haven't had time to stick them in the dirt, but this is a lychee seed. You can see the similarity. About the same size. And if I crack this open, so he's a little lighter, but similar. And also the same lychee, which I showed you in one of my other videos. They've got to be planted. right away. All right. And if you do it, actually the germination is quite quick. They take about anywhere from 10 to 20 days to germinate. Mine germinate faster because I throw them in a little tub of water. And then what I do sometimes, if you want to cheat, you can take carefully, like if you have a nail file, and you just use a little nail file and scarify the end a little bit, toss it in water for 24 hours, and it'll germinate for you faster. A lot of seeds that have a hard seed coat like this are the same way. It's a way to cheat nature. Scarify it, soak it, it'll sprout faster. So instead of 20 days, you're only waiting 10 days. All right, so let's put the lychee over here with our soursop buddy. Okay, then I got a special treat for you. The only problem, though, is he didn't catch up to everybody. Guess what that is? I don't think I can cut this open. This, people, especially women, it's where your chocolate comes from. It's a cacao nib. This is where chocolate comes from. So, it's cacao. And it looks really brown. It was a little bit lighter the other day. The way you can tell these are ripe, if you're fortunate enough to find one and get one, is you shake it a little bit. And you can very gently, like, kind of almost hear stuff moving, which I don't right now. Which sucks, because I'd love to be able to cut this open for you. So, no. And what I'm going to do is I'll post, when this is ready, and it should probably only take a few more days, I'll post a link in the description to a continuation like part 2. And then I'll take the cacao nib out and I'll cut it open so you guys can see. It's really amazing. When you cut it open, actually what most people don't know is there's actually fruit in a cacao nib. And so you can eat the fruit. It tastes nothing like chocolate. It's kind of tart, odd tasting, but it's amazing. And then inside those pods, when you eat the fruit, are the beans that eventually are made into chocolate. But it's a long and lengthy process and all that. So one of these days I'll do a video on it, because they have to be fermented and roasted and the whole 9 yards, and then you turn them into a chocolate bar, and it's a whole crazy ass process. So it's actually pretty cool. So for those living in elevations, you know, Jamaica and Costa Rica and all those, but Costa Rica is amazing. That's all this here. But we actually can grow it down here in Florida. It takes a little bit of work to grow them because they are kind of on the finicky side. And so, like some of these, they're more kind of understory trees because, you know, they're rainforest growing trees and all that. And the cool thing about cacao, too, the way chocolate grows, I say chocolate, it's cacao. It's not chocolate yet, they grow off, like if this is the trunk of the tree, it grows right off the trunk of the tree. So you'll see the stuff come out, and then the pods eventually form off the trunk of the tree, like jackfruit. They don't hang off branches and things like that. And the cool thing about cacao, too, is once you have a tree that starts producing pods, or nibs, once it starts producing pods, they produce all year long. So what you'll have is you'll have some on the tree that are ripe, some are not, they're young. So it's pretty cool. They produce all year long, and he's neat. This is a little guy. He's only about 3/4 of a pound. But they have delicious fruit inside of them, and really, really good for you, too. And then, you know, you save your little beans, throw them aside, ferment them in a jar. Got chocolate. We'll do that some other time. Can I get a bag? So, I thought that was really cool. I wanted you guys to see it. But like I said, once I hear a little bit of movement in here, I sort of think I almost hear some, but no, I'm going to wait another day or two. Because it's still, plus, another way is if you knock, you can get kind of a hollow, which it doesn't have right now. So I'm going to wait a few more days. I'll post a follow-up in the description, and you can see me open it, because it's actually really cool if you guys have never seen the inside of a cacao pod, which is where your chocolate comes from. Pretty cool. So anyway, talking about heat, the only other thing I wanted to show you was, because I harvested some the other day. Now it's getting all nasty and wilty. Believe it or not, it looks a little crappy right now. This is cilantro. I love cilantro. The problem is in Florida, it doesn't work down here, man. The minute you have cilantro, it bolts. It immediately goes to seed. Doesn't want to grow here. It's too hot, and it just doesn't do well. But this, it's actually even a little bit more pungent, but it's cilantro. You'll love it. It's amazing. I put it in everything because I love it, and it's a good leafy vegetable herb. Let me see here. Let me grab one. I grabbed a bunch the other day and I put it in my fridge. Of course, it's like, it's cool. You know? Got a hole in it. Somebody's having fun. Anyway, it's really pungent. But for those of you that either live in the tropics or hot weather climates, or you have a cilantro fix like I do and you want to keep growing it through the summer, grow this. You'll love it. It's easy to grow. You should be able to find places to get it fairly readily. And it loves the heat. So it's kind of like I've got Cuban oregano out there too. I have regular oregano and he's doing pretty good. He does well in this hot stuff, but the Cuban oregano is actually a little bit better in this climate. But cilantro doesn't work. But these are thick, and they'll yield you. I mean, a ton of this is like nothing, a tiny little bit. You know, it just keeps producing, and you know you can't eat it fast enough. It loves the heat. So if you love your cilantro, this is what you need to grow. Tastes the same, except it actually grows in the heat. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I figured I'd tell you guys that. I always keep forgetting to sneak that into my videos because a lot of people in you know, like middle of the summer and all that, and you think you have to wait. You don't. There's always alternatives. You can do this. If you love your cilantro and salsa, make some salsa for the summer. So that's about it for me. This isn't a fruit, but these are my yard longs. These are actually going to one of my friends. I'm not saying. Asparagus beans, I let them dry. They're actually like green beans on crack. This is actually a small one. I've had some that are like 3 feet long. They're growing on the side of my house, so I let them dry. When you germinate these, literally in less than 2 weeks, it'll already start throwing flowers and give you food. These things grow so fast, it's a great shit. Hits the fan crop. There's the little beanie. And I don't usually let them dry on the vine, because if something matures and dries like that on the vine, it signals the plant that, well, we made our fruit, it was good, or whatever, and it's drying, so they don't have to produce anymore. So I always pick them. But if they're really big, I pick them and I leave them on my counter and they still dry. And this has a ton of seeds in it. All of this, the whole long, and this is over 1 foot long. They're big guys. And that one's kind of folded in half. I thought that was kind of cool. I love my yard long beans. They're super easy to grow. And the thing is, if you don't let them get, you don't want to let them get super thick to where you see the lumpies in them when they're green hanging on the vine. You pick them when they're young and thin, and then you just cook them like you would with green beans. Same thing. They taste wonderful. They're a little bigger than a green bean, obviously, but if you want to eat them as a green bean, you have to pick them, you know, when they're young and skinny, because once you start seeing them with the bulges, if they're green with the bulges in them, they're already starting to get a little too tough for picking and cooking. And so at that point, you'd want to pick them and let them dry just save them for your beans. And then you can do the same thing with these beans you do with every other beans. Put them in a jar, save them, you know, vacuum seal them and put them in your preps for beans and all that, or save them. They keep a very long time. Some of the ones I planted I've had for a couple of years. So these are cool. These are fresh ones. Anyway, that's fun. I have to go back outside before a storm comes in. Anyway, I wanted to show you the fruity side of life today. So I was having fun with the soursop, the rambutan, and the cacao. So anyway, if you have questions, just comment and I'll be happy to answer them, you know. And I got some more rambutan in here. We'll germinate all of these. Give them away to my friends. So, all right. Stay green. A little wild and dirty doesn't hurt either. And a little fruity occasionally, right? Gotta have some fun today. Love you guys. Nikki out.